You want to say anything to anybody?
Hello.
Well,
Yep.
think about it. This paper talked about it. Energy truly is one of the other than oxygen and water.
Precious commodity.
It's one of the most essential things that humans need to thrive as a society.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's why we have 7 billion people in this world, because energy, it's for the last 150 years, it's been fossil
been
fuel.
fossil fuel, oil.
Okay.
Yeah.
It has allowed this world to grow because food used to be very difficult to create. The amount of food that's been created by man has grown exponentially because of the utilization of machinery and energy.
Yeah. Or the
Okay?
reverse what, yeah. Or to reverse what you just said, the amount of energy, in tools and technology and energy ultimate output behind it to generate that food, previously was just a massive undertaking. Still is, but with the advent of the modern day machinery, to your point, in technology, we can now do it much easier. Here's the bottom line, folks. Around 1900, the world population, I believe, was about 1 billion. Since 1900 to the present, it's gone basically straight up in the air. So basically, in a little over 100 years, the world population, guys, has gone up sevenfold, 7 times. So basically, if you had one person on Earth, you now got 7. So that's a big.
It's why you don't have family farms anymore. You don't
Yeah.
need.
Well,
Back then, the amount of food that was generated per person was much less, and
Absolutely.
over time, the amount of food per person using equipment and energy has grown substantially. So you don't need to have a farmer with 8 kids running a farm to generate the food.
100%. So 100 years ago, when we were an agrarian society, to your point, what do I mean by that? About 90% of the population 100 plus years ago was engaged in farming, essentially. Okay. So now I think it's under like what, 2% of our entire population
Very
it's
low.
like 2 or 3%, if that, that's engaged in farming now. Yeah.
And so this goes into, and gold has its value. A lot of people will talk about, why does gold have value other than 5,000 years of history of having value. The amount of energy required to extract an ounce of gold is significant. It probably, depending on the mine, it can cost anywhere from $700 to $1,500 an ounce to create that gold, and that
Absolutely.
creates value.
Absolutely. Yep.
And so that is energy. You need energy to get the gold. So
Absolutely. That machinery's got to run on something.
Yep. And back in the 70s, when they realized that the U.S. cannot operate on a gold standard because we consume a lot more than we produce. And when you operate on a gold standard,
Right.
that means you ship out your gold faster than you can bring it in. And before you know it, you are a third world country. And Nixon saw that what was going on, and France actually started demanding their gold. And the United States, after World War II, basically had almost all the world's gold at that point.
I know we had a lot of it in Fort Knox, literally. Yeah.
I forget the numbers, but we went from, let's say, 200,000 tons after World War II, and we went down. We supposedly have 8,000 tons now. So that's how much we lost from World War II to 1970, because we were consuming so much. We had to ship all our gold to the rest of the world.
Yeah, I said 33,000 tons before. I'm mistaken. It was probably 33 million tons, right?
I don't remember the numbers, but it was significant. It was significant. Just imagine having the whole pie, and then over 40 years, it
no, absolutely.
A small piece of the pie.
Yeah, and I'll leave you on this note, folks. From what I understand, our gold supply reserve, whatever you want to call it, has not been audited since something like 1955, something like that. So, I'm just saying that 60 years, nobody's decided to, like do a little quick, check.
Yeah, and supposedly they have all their golds in Fort Knox, West Point, and in Denver. But who knows?
Who knows? Who knows?
So that's why in the 70s, early 70s, Nixon's like, well, The writing's on the wall here.
Yeah, but he screwed the hooch though when he did that, dude. I mean, he must have known what he was doing, that what it was going to eventually lead
Well,
to.
it's at that point, dude, nobody ever does nobody takes the hard choice. So Vietnam was using so much money that and ever since Vietnam as well. I mean, all we've done is, but now in 1970, they went to the Federal Reserve note, and now they could spend endlessly.
Well, yeah, because to your point, now we can print money that's no longer tied to physical gold. We can now print paper money into infinity. And that's where things like MMT come into play. There's
and how did they force and how is that able to work? The only way that works is if you are the world reserve currency. That's it.
Well,
and how did they secure that we were the world reserve currency? They said, well, we will kill you if you try to buy your oil with anything other than US dollars.
Did we literally say that? I mean, I know Henry Kissinger in team set that the petrodollar up, right, in the early 70s.
Correct.
Yeah, he set it up.
It was all one big, and it's why Nixon went to China to open up China, because he knew that we needed a slave class. Okay, it's all tied together. And so did they come out and say, we'll kill you? But no, Dan, like anything, you look at actions. You don't listen to their words. You look at their actions. The United States has gone around the world destroying anybody who doesn't abide to their system. And it has nothing to do with freedom. You notice how there are certain dictatorships who we're good friends with, and they can kill, rape, and pillage as long as they want, as long as they support us. But others, are bad men when they don't do what we want them to do.
That's pretty heavy, man.
It's truth.
It's heavy, dude.
Call it what you will. It's all I'm saying is all of this information has been out there longer than most people in this country have been probably alive.
Yeah, man. No, it's there if you're willing to go look for it and find it. It is there. I just don't think most people are aware. And then the problem is, the ones that are aware, they're such the minority. So then what? Okay, you're aware. Now what? Now it's nice glorified cocktail party information. Okay, great. I still got to get up and go to work every day and pay bills.
That's the problem.
Right? I'm on the treadmill.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we're all complicit. We have all allowed it to happen. It's one of these things where if you're driving a car, right? You're driving a car and it's used in a commission of a crime and somebody gets killed. I think you still are tried with murder, right? You still go to jail.
Well, you're called an accessory.
Live long and prosper.